A look. Now, Governor, I know, unless you're going to announce for president right here, there's a lot of international, national implications you're being on, but I really care about is one thing. You have developed an amazing system to bring companies down here and harness this natural gas revolution. How's it going?
Well, Jim, it's going great. First of all, thank you for coming to Louisiana. We're here in Paradise, Grand Isle. In Louisiana, our economy is growing. We're doing what Washington, D.C. is not doing. So, for example, more people working than ever before, higher incomes than ever before. Our economy has grown 50% faster than the national economy. Over $50 billion in projects announced in our state, over 80,000 new jobs. It's not rocket science. What did we do? We cut taxes. We have the lowest taxes for a manufacturing facility anywhere in the country. We've made it easier for people to invest. We've got the top-rated workforce training program in the country. We cut back state spending, so we cut the budget 26%, cut 28,000 government jobs. We're growing the private sector. And by the way, we'd be doing this across the country if Washington would just get out of the way.
Now, let's talk about this Newport facility, because it was stirring to see it. Frankly, every American should be able to come down and look at that unbelievable plant, which has got high wages. Another time I'd never been here. How did you get that to come in?
Newport, a great company. Over 140 people working in St. James Parish already, over $70,000 a year. That's just the first phase. That could be a $3 billion, $3.4 billion investment. Jim, this is about global competition. They were telling us it was between Louisiana and Brazil. I worked with Dan D'Amico, their CEO, their previous CEO, and then John, their current CEO. They wanted to build in America. And like so many companies, they want to manufacture products in America, but they're worried about the federal regulations, they're worried about the uncertainty. Dan said, look, we want to make things in this country, but we're going to build where it makes business sense to build. So we worked with them to give them a predictable environment. We worked with them to make sure they had the trained workers, and we finally got D.C. out of the way. But look at what this administration is doing. You know, the president's bragging about rising oil and gas production. We're actually seeing less production on federal land since he's taken office, since 2007, even before he took office. He's talking about how he wants to create jobs here. Then why not build the Keystone Pipeline? Why not get the EPA and rein them back in? They're doing the exact opposite in D.C. of what we're doing here in Louisiana.
Well, in terms of big projects that are in Louisiana, we've had Sharif Souki on a lot. Now, he is from Cheniere. That looks like one of the biggest projects I've ever seen. What's the cooperation there with what he's doing and be able to export the excess natural gas we have?
You know, there's over $30 billion in already approved and proposed LNG facilities for Lake Charles alone. Talk about thousands of construction jobs, great permanent jobs. Look, I think it's great. I think we're going to be able to stimulate more exploration work in the Haynesville Shale area up in west Louisiana. I think we'll have more than enough natural gas for the petrochemical company. You know what's interesting? For years, we used to export fertilizer out of this country. Then we became an importer. Now with natural gas prices, we're seeing fertilizer plants reopen up and down the river. You're seeing not only companies like Nucor, Bentler Steel's investing in this state. I think the Shale Revolution has not only lowered energy prices, it's bringing good-paying manufacturing jobs back to America. And that's something that benefits. I don't care if you live in Texas, North Dakota, Louisiana. If you're in the Midwest, you should care about this. These are good-paying, blue-collar manufacturing jobs.
Well, something you and I I've heard you speak many times, and I know we're in very much of agreement. Right now, it seems like the situation in our country is there's a big cohort doesn't like fossil fuels. So what we do is we allow other countries to take advantage of our own energy, and basically we're exporting jobs to them. We're importing their product. It's not really working because it's global warming. It means it comes from China to L.A.
Well, look, this administration has been very clear. They don't like pipelines. They don't like new refineries. They don't like new exploration. They want energy to be expensive. They like subsidizing through crony capitalism expensive forms of energy. This administration's first energy secretary openly talked about wanting gasoline to be expensive. I want energy to be cheap, affordable. I want to drive those manufacturing jobs here. You're right. We're going to make products. The question is, do we make the steel and the fertilizer? Do we make those petrochemical products here in America, or do we make them overseas? I'd rather make them here, not in China, not in Brazil. Let's make them in America.
Now, we talk a lot about minimum wage. The kind of jobs that you're talking about, where you're working with educational institutions and with companies, they're producing jobs that can actually do more than just put a meal on the table.
Well, look, Nucor, $70,000 a year. We're talking about good-paying jobs. A lot of these jobs don't even require four-year degrees. In our state of the state, we're proposing a huge increase for higher education. Part of that's $40 million for our universities to work with employers to train the kids for the good-paying, fast-growing jobs out there. These are the kinds of jobs we want our kids to have. They have benefits, they're careers. These aren't minimum wage jobs. These aren't government jobs. These are good-paying jobs where you can raise a family. These are careers.
How about right around here where we're looking at? There's fields that have been left for dead. New technology making them come to life. A lot of jobs being created.
Absolutely. You're seeing not only in the shallow Gulf, obviously there's a lot of great work happening in the deep shelf. I mean, we've got companies pushing the boundaries and doing great exploration work. Shell just had an exciting announcement recently. But closer in on the shelf, you've got fields that were thought to be tapped out. You've got onshore fields. You've got companies that are going there creating jobs, creating more energy. What it shows is American ingenuity and innovation still works. You know, in D.C., they see limits. We see opportunity here. We're seeing some of the latest technology. You look at what's happening. My first year as governor, you had double-digit prices for natural gas. Right. Now you've seen a dramatic fall because they took new energy to known reserves and were able to bring that out of the ground at a very affordable price.
Now, well, we got to talk about the countries that are no longer competitive versus us. When I speak to Nucor, for instance, the steel industry in Korea had been an amazing industry, but their natural gas cost is so great, so high, that the U.S. has such a competitive advantage. There've got to be countries with companies that are coming here that would normally have stayed over there.
Look, Sasol, South African company, over $20 billion investment in proposed in Southwest Louisiana. You got Eurochem, a Russian, European fertilizer company, over $1 billion investment in our country. You've got Bentler Steel, hundreds of millions of dollars in a steel facility. Europe has got an oil-based petrochemical industry. Ours is natural gas-based for a feedstock, not just for utility prices. As a feedstock, we have a huge, a structural advantage. You see why we're taking jobs back from Asia, back from Europe. In part, you're seeing the labor cost no longer the big differential because of our productivity, but you're also seeing this built-in advantage because of energy. And because of that, we can bring good jobs back from overseas. This is a once-in-a-generational opportunity. I think we've got to build things in this country. We have to have a diversified economy. It can't all be service sector based, and we're doing that right now. We're doing it in Louisiana. We can do that across the country. We've got 86,000 skilled construction jobs we got to fill in our state just for the job projects we've already announced after 25 years of exporting our people. For the last 6 years in a row, we've had more people move into the state rather than leave the state. This could be happening across America. We're creating opportunities and good-paying jobs. We could be doing this nationally. We just need government to get out of the way.
Well, okay, so you've got the state under control. These sounds like things that maybe you should do nationally. Any thought to running for president?
Well, look, let's win 14 first. Let's win the war of ideas, but energy is a big part of that war of ideas. One side is ideological. They want high energy prices. We want affordable energy. We want manufacturing jobs. It's not just E&P. It's manufacturing jobs as well.
Governor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That's Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana. Stay with us.